Good afternoon and welcome to your weekly FX Options Report. Today is Wednesday, October 20th, 2010. In midweek trade, the major U.S. stock averages have bounced back from previous session losses. On Tuesday, markets around the globe were surprised after the Central Bank of China raised its lending and deposit rate by 25 basis points. The U.S. dollar has pared back from gains seen in the previous session following the PBOC's latest move. Now, in terms of central banks, the Bank of England minutes were released from their latest meeting. MPC members voted 7-1 to keep rates on hold. And earnings reports are also in the spotlight this week. Now, one way to trade your views on U.S. dollar strength or weakness is to take a look at IC's FX options. One advantage is that they are U.S. dollar denominated. For more information, you can go to www.fxoptions.com. Now moving on to the individual FX option pairs, starting out with the AUX in our daily trend report. For that pair, the key short-term resistance stands at 107.25. The RSI for that pair has struck against its neutrality area at 50% and is reversing to the downside. The preference of trading central analysts for the AUX is short positions at 107.25 with targets at 196.15. For the BPX, the U.S. currency against the British pound, that pair is under pressure. It has rebounded on its support and is currently challenging its resistance. The preference of trading central analysts for the BPX is short positions below 64 with targets at 62 and 61 in extension. For the CDD, the U.S. currency against the Canadian dollar, the downside does prevail. The RSI is mixed and bearish, and preference of trading central analysts is short positions below 105 with targets at 99.50 and 98 in extension. Moving on to the EUI, the U.S. currency against the euro, that pair is also under pressure. Now, it has struck against its resistance and should face weakness. The preference of trading central analysts for the EUI is short positions below 73 with targets at 70.50 and 68.40 in extension. For the SFC, the U.S. currency against the Swiss franc, that pair is also under pressure. It does stand below its new resistance, and the preference of trading central analysts is short positions below the pivot of 100 with targets at 94.25 and 92.30 in extension. Moving on to the YUK, the U.S. dollar against the Japanese currency, the downside does prevail. Now, it has struck against its declining trend line and does remain under pressure. The preference of trading central analysts for the YUK is short positions below 84.50 with targets at 79.30 and 76.50 in extension. And moving on to our next segment, which is our weekly trend opinion. Last week, the U.S. dollar started to gain strength against the majors after hitting new lows. Trading central analysts will take advantage of any U.S. dollar weakness to enter new long positions. In terms of portfolio performance, since its inception in August of 2007, it does stand at 1,930.63%. Since the beginning of January 2010, it is higher by 650.54%. We do have two trade alerts for you here, including puts on the SFC and calls on the NDO. Now, starting out with the puts on the SFC, that pair has broken below its previous low and does remain under pressure. In terms of the calls on the NDO, it should rebound on its new support and does remain within its bullish channel. Trading central analysts will also be keeping an eye on the EUI, the BPX, and the YUK. Next week, trading central analysts will be looking at the CDD, the PZO, and the AUX. Starting out with the CDO, it has rebounded on its support, and it is approaching its new resistance at 105. The daily RSI is also capped by a declining trend line. For the PZO, it is posting a rebound on its support and does remain capped by medium-term declining trend line. For the AUX, it stands below its strong resistance at 107.25, and that should be a good level to enter new short positions. That does wrap it up for today's FX Options Report. Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in next Wednesday for your latest update.